Hello, everybody out there in the Frontline universe. I'm Chris, and he's Mike, and welcome back to. Oh my God,
What?
we're on time.
Yes, we are.
This is the first Dark Avenger comic book review of the new year, and we are on time again.
I mean, with 20 books in total, this week was actually a pretty good week.
So, and once we're done with this review, we're going to be going right into next week's books, starting to read those, and getting that review out maybe even earlier. Doubt that, but we're recording this Monday. It's going up Tuesday. It's a win. We finally have gotten back to our on-time schedule. And since it's the beginning of the new year, as we mentioned, honorable shout-outs will begin. I think I left out a couple of my digital books because I did not see them in Mike's. He takes pictures of all the covers. I did not see the covers there, so I gotta get used to it. I gotta get used to putting all the books that I'm reading now into that. So next time, I'll get better as we move forward. I'll get used to the new layout. But there are a few honorable mentions for this week. The books that we are going to be discussing came out the first week of January. First week of the new year, which is January
4th, 2017, the first week of January, and the new year.
That's a lot of January we just said.
Yeah, January.
January.
You know? Gotta get, some awesome.
All right, so let's start with some digital books. Now, I did get this physically. There was a bit of a problem with this issue, but I did grab it from Midtown. It's Saga issue number 41. Starts us off with King Robot and Alana, and he's just drugged out of his mind. Marco shows up, and King Robot, still drugged out of his mind, actually tries to kill Marco. He doesn't. Alana gets to knock King Robot out. You got the bounty hunters who are chasing after Alana, Marcos, and the rest of them. The Will shows up back on where Olivia and the little girl was that he saved, and he's looking to start up. He wants the little girl he saved to become the new bounty hunter. Basically, he wants to live vicariously through her because his bounty hunter, he's no longer a bounty hunter. His license was revoked. He tries to get Lion Cat back as his partner. That doesn't work out. So in the end, basically, he's still alone. And I don't know how that's going to work. I like the dueling stories that are going on. You've got the bounty hunter in one place, Marco and Alana in the other. So in the end, the twist at the end was really cool because Marco was so against violence. All 40 issues, he was very, trying to keep the peace. I don't want to spoil the ending, but wow. That ending where I think Marco is finally kind of, I think it's a mix between what the older woman said to him in the last issue and his own mindset. I think the peaceful way he sees isn't working, and yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Right. So that's all my indie books this week. I only have one book.
Yep. Alright, so we'll start with mine. Big Trouble in Little China, Escape from New York, issue number 4. And in this issue, it takes us where we left off last time, where Jack Byrne is in disguise of Snake Plissken to find out more about the plans of what's going on. And he tries to convince the other Snake Plisskens, like saying, this Emperor Lopan, you really shouldn't trust him and everything, because he said he'll give the world to you and everything. And, it's just to kill Jack Byrne, because that's what the whole objective is. So then Snake Plissken goes to where his lair is, and instead of ratting out Jack, he says that there is a Jack Burton, and he says that the other guy's Jack, and he just starts, going on a killing spree and everything, and it was just like that was going on. I really like the duo of this team that goes on here, and we also get Blonde Mary Apple, I think her name is, that she plays a really important role in this, and she knows more about the Snake Plissken group, and there could be more of her guitar because she does a story about her guitar, how it's like really something. So it's like it's going to play a really important role for the next issue. At least that's what I believe. Really great issue. Now this is going to be an honorable shout out, and I wasn't really interested in this book, but Ragnarok issue number 11.
I'm surprised it's still going on.
Yeah, my God. I'm talking about dialogue heavy. I'm really, really dialogue heavy. I completely could not understand this book. It was just basically what I could understand is Ragnarok trying to...
I just want to see the cover.
Oh. is trying to find out more about the hammer, and there's this war going on, and it just goes into way, way, way too much detail. So, just an honorable mention. I mean, if you guys want to pick up the book, if you're Ragnarok fans, you can. But to me, it just didn't appeal to me. It was like really heavy dialogue. Going into Valiant now, Faith issue number 7, where we get the new and improved costume or look costumes for Faith. And she tries out on these new looks, and then she goes about her new life. I like how we go a little bit deeper inside of her character. Like, every time I read an issue, I feel like I'm learning more and more of something different about Faith. Like, not just a whole, I'm a hero, time to save the world, and that's the end of the book. Like, I really like how they go deeper into her character, because this issue, I feel, is like the strong points they show about her past, of who she met in the past. Like, there are like some past people that she met that turned evil, obviously. So, like, that's why I felt this issue was. But I like how she's trying on new costumes for the new look. Even though she doesn't like it, it's going to take a little bit of time to adjust to it. But I really enjoyed that issue, definitely. Now, this book we both read.
Again, I don't understand. I could have sworn that this. I mean, we've been reading this together since issue number 1, but Evil Heroes issue 4, is it?
Yep.
And in this issue, you've got the evil heroes who find out where the secret base is, where the soldiers who got the superpowers are. The wife and the husband, though, they seem to have a disagreement. She wants him to stay. He's like, it's only a matter of time before they find her. She's like, yeah, but for that matter of time, at least we'll be together. And he's like, no, I want to try to stop them. I'd rather die trying.
Plus, they mourn about this other person that they lost. Because
in the last issue, because she died.
In the backstory about how important her character was, and then it goes to the present time. But, man, those evil heroes, I mean, you got this, I'm going to say superhero, like, you got the Superman-like, Aquaman-like, and this other guy.
The Flash, the one that's like the Flash. The one that's like the Flash actually has a flashback. He's like, everywhere we go, we cause carnage and we destroy everything. And he said there was a reason we left Earth this time, and he actually wants to prevent it from happening again. Like, every time this happens, it's like they don't want to kill everyone, but something bad happens. So he's going to be acting against the evil heroes, I think. I think he's going to be the one that turns the tide on them.
Yeah, but those evil heroes, like, when they come to the Earth and everything, like, they just keep wreaking havoc, and just, they killed this other person. I forgot what her name was.
They killed somebody on the team in this.
I remember they killed
when the
somebody.
Superman one and the Aquaman one attacked.
Yeah. I remember. I think it was
remember
Sophie,
the name.
I can't remember really, but there is.
No, it was the guy. It was the guy who had the ability to mind control, and he failed.
I thought it was a girl that died.
No.
All right. Well, basically that's it. But I think we got like 2 more issues left until we have
6 issues.
Yeah, only 2 more issues left. Yeah. But wow, just really powerful stuff. I mean, I've enjoyed reading it since issue 1. I just wanted to see how it goes from there on. One physical book of the indies is The Walking Dead. This is the final conclusion, part 6 of 6 of the Whisper War. And don't let the cover fool you. Negan does not turn into a walker. I don't know why.
That's a variant cover.
Oh, well, that explains why then. The cover was misleading. So, starts off where Negan buries his Lucille, and meanwhile they're just going on looking for the Whisperers. Like, they think that they won, with the whole thing of what happened. And here's some artwork. You got Carl and Lydia talking with each other about stuff that's been going on, so they get a little bit closer with each other. And you got the leader of the Whisperers, Alpha, I think his name is, and they want to still go against Rick's team. And what Rick knew from Dwight was that there were hundreds and thousands of walkers that they left behind, and Rick gets upset about this, saying all those walkers are from that place and they need to get rid of, because remember how they had to drive the walkers all the way out and everything with all those hundreds and thousands? So that's why Rick's a little bit upset about this. But now the leader of Alpha said, or the Whisper was like saying, even though the war is over, the dead is going to finish what they started. So instead of them doing something, now they're going to send 100,000 walkers that Dwight and his team was supposed to kill.
What about that
to
other
Rick's
team that was
community.
supposed to take Rick at his weakest time? Did they make an appearance in this?
What do you mean, Negan?
No.
What are you
Remember
talking
there were a team of people that said they like Rick as the leader, but when he's at his weakest,
Oh yeah. They weren't in this issue.
Oh,
Like they're on the other side of the story. No, they're gonna be back probably a few issues and all that. And I think Negan's sort of turning the other cheek of being sort of good. But I really just don't know if I can trust it.
Listen, you could turncoat like that.
You could, but the leopard never changed its spots. That's a zebra on the stripes.
Honorable shout out for me this week goes to Aquaman issue number 14. Yes, I'm still reading it. I know I said I was going to drop it, but I want to see how this stupid story arc plays out. And it looks like the next issue will be the last. There's casualties on both sides now. The aquatic team that was sent to attack Atlantis, attacks Atlantis. And a lot of good people die. Aquaman ends up finding Mira finally. Mira makes her appearance, and he decides to basically, once again, what's the word I'm looking for? He leaves as king. Like basically he quits as the king. He says, I'm no longer your king. I failed you. You guys are being attacked. It's my fault. So I'm going to step down as your king. And then he goes and he finds Nemo. Finally, and he finds out that Black Manta is leading it. And I think this time, unlike the first story arc where he kind of let Black Manta go instead of killing him when he had the chance, it looks like this time it's going to be a hardcore fight between the two of them. And I could definitely dig looking into that.
Okay.
Nova issue number 2. Sam finds out that Richard Rider's alive, and he can't explain how he's alive. He does DNA. He takes him to the champions, and he has Hulk do a bunch of tests on him. And he's not a clone. He's not a machine. It's not like what happened with the father. He is 100% legit Richard Rider. However, there's this thing which we saw Sam fight at the beginning, the beginning of the last issue, that's following Richard around. And actually, when Sam brings him home to have him relax a little bit and he shows him all of the different Nova masks, there's a little piece of that monster that actually goes into another one of the Nova masks. So my prediction is Richard Rider is a piece of that somehow. I don't know. I mean, you never know. I mean, maybe he really is back, but with Marvel, you don't know if dead is dead, what is what. But in the end, him and Richard Rider end up going to nowhere. And you get to see Cosmo. They go to the bar. They share Richard has a drink at least, and then we find out that there are bounties for the 2 last Novas in the universe. So that's where the book's left off, where they got these bounty hunters that are now after Sam and Richard Rider. Moving to a digital pile, which I hope I remembered that for next month and the month after, Spider-Man 2099 issue number 19. This issue, you got Elektra fighting that weird chick that's able to turn people into vampires. You've got Spidey 2099. You got Miguel and Cap 2099 trying to protect all the people in the building that are being attacked. In the end, Elektra ends up killing the woman. The spell is lifted. Miguel's girlfriend finds out that she can't walk anymore because of her spine or whatever. And it basically just ends with Miguel's father, Tyler Stone, showing up to be continued. Really, I think this was more of an honorable mention at this point. So this was more of an honorable shout out when it comes to Spidey 2099. Again, I did move Champions to a digital format, but we always order our books a couple of months in advance. So Champions issue number 4, as we saw in the last issue, the ship ended up crashing, and now the Champions are stranded in the ocean. They find an underwater civilization. They try to glide toward it in order to get saved. Instead, they get attacked and imprisoned. They break out, and that's really it. They break out, and then they head home. And then it says to be next time the precarious Gwenpool wants to join the Champions. But I did like how in this issue, everybody kind of agreed that Miss Marvel was the leader. By the time we finished this book, You see, even Cyclops. Sorry, I
didn't
didn't
know what to do.
Even Cyclops kind of was agreeing that she's the best leader for the group.
And that's all for Marvel.
Yeah, that's
now
it.
We go into DC books.
I want to say this is an honorable mention, but really, Justice League issue number 12, honorable shout out, but really it's not. It's not. It's connected to Justice League versus Suicide Squad, but it's not. Remember how in Suicide Squad there were all those backstories? You know, at the back of the issue we got like a backstory. This book is Max Lord's backstory. How he was imprisoned by Amanda Waller when he was a kid, how he was raised, why he's doing what he's doing, what Amanda Waller wanted from him, how he got the information about Amanda Waller's first squad, and we find out more in Justice League versus Suicide Squad, which I'll get into. The only reason this is first is because it's nothing but...
Wasn't Amanda Waller commander of Justice League after a while?
No, only Suicide Squad. All this was a glorified backstory where it turned out that Checkmate showed up, and they wanted to, when the superheroes first came out, they wanted to imprison the superheroes and defeat Darkseid, but Argus came back and stopped them. Argus was formed, Checkmate was disbanded, and Max Lord was a prisoner of Amanda Waller, and then he escaped. He was able to escape Amanda Waller, and he went into hiding. To be continued. Which we get into with the Suicide Squad. So this is more of a Max Lord backstory. So if you want a Max Lord backstory, Justice League issue number 12.
Alright, this is a Rebirth that I wanted to get into.
Because you're getting... and I will say one thing. I found out that Suicide Squad versus Justice League is leading into Justice League of America because... And I'll discuss it more when we get to Justice League versus Suicide Squad. Killer Frost, who is at the moment part of Suicide Squad, is a part of Justice League of America. Just like Lobo right now is a part of Max Lord's team, but he's going to end up in Justice League of America as well. So we're going to see a couple of people turn coat for the good, I'm guessing. Killer Frost, we'll talk about that when we get to it.
We're at the Justice League of America title, and this is Rebirth of the Atom.
Well, now, is it? Let me see the title.
Yeah, it's Rebirth.
It's Justice League of America, the Atom Rebirth. Yeah, I thought it was called something else. I guess there's something else I'm looking.
This is a story about basically, before it gets to the regular issue number 1. This is just a one shot of the backstory. And at first I was looking, I'm like saying, I'm not sure about this character, but actually, this character you see in the front, Ryan, he attends this...
he's the third, the second or third Atom.
Second, actually.
Second?
Yeah, he goes to Ivy University, he goes with a roommate, and he's really smart. Like, he knows lots of stuff about science, kind of like Peter Parker, basically.
Oh, yeah, he's very smart.
Science. So he meets this Professor Palmer.
See, there they are. There it is, Justice League of America. See, you got Killer Frost, Lobo.
Yeah, I'll just show him what you mean. Basically, he means this.
Yep, and even the Ray is joining them, which is really cool.
Yes. So after we find out that Professor Palmer is actually the Atom. And then he talks to him like saying, even though you're the first person to know it and everything, I'm a scientist, but also to be a superhero. And he basically, I don't know if I should say the word uses him for his missions, because every time he goes out on the mission, Ryan takes the whole thing of helping Atom, like getting out of these situations and stuff, along with being a regular person as well. So then it goes 1 year in a time span where he gets a little bit more about his character, and he finds out from the professor that he's like in big trouble and something like that, and he left something for him to actually help save him, and here we go. This is where he will be.
Yeah, something happened to Ray Palmer, and he's stuck in the microverse, I think it was.
Yeah, I think it said some microverse. Yeah, the microverse. Basically. So it's up to him, basically, to save him. And since he and Professor Palmer have been, like, really, like, close as, like, great friends and everything, it's his turn now to be the Atom to actually go out and...
I'm sure they'll find Ray Palmer at some point.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But,
I'm glad they fixed
Thinking
that because
that
Ray Palmer was kind of screwed up in the New 52.
and just thinking I was gonna be, I actually like it.
Told you.
So it's gonna be something I'll definitely keep on my pile. But let's hope it stays that way. You know.
This is going to be an interesting 2 issues. It's Batman issue 14, Rooftop. So, as you guys know, in the last issue, Batman put together a Suicide Squad of his own with Amanda Waller's help in order to get Psycho Pirate away from Bane. Which I kind of think, let's see, is the advertisement here? That's Justice League, that's Detective, that's Super... Here we go. In 2 issues, I am Bane. So, technically, this is an intermission from an intermission story arc to bring us right back to Bane. So basically, we had Bane, with Psycho Pirate. We're getting this 2-issue story, so 1 month without Bane, and then I am Bane. Bane is coming back, not 1 story arc later again. Batman just won up Bane, and now he's coming back to Gotham for revenge. Wouldn't it be better to have a couple of story arcs in between that before you have Bane come right back? I mean, literally, we're having a month break of Bane and Batman, and then he's coming back. And this is still kind of connected, because now we find out that Catwoman's death sentence was revoked. She's no longer on the death sentence, but she has life now without parole, and Batman promises he's gonna bring her to Belle Reve instead of Arkham. And what happens is he's going to try to prove that she did not kill all the people she did, so he can get her out of jail even. And she doesn't think that he can do it. She begs him, she says, I'll give my life, just give me 1 night with you. And what happens is she's like, so what do you want to do? And I love how the bat signal shows up. And then the rest of the book is Catwoman and Batman fighting you name it. And when I say you name it, I mean literally you name it. Like every single bad guy there is. And she's like, is this like a normal night for you? And he's like, yeah, some nights. And then she's like, okay, we did everything for you. Let's do one thing for me. And she actually robs her own house. Because Batman's like, this apartment belongs to Holly Robinson. And he's like, who's Holly Robinson? And she's like, I am. I am. And they escape. It turns out she set a booby trap for anybody who tried to steal her stuffed cat, because apparently there's diamonds in it. They share a wonderful scene, and apparently this is only part 1. There's apparently There's apparently something that takes place after this part, and apparently Catwoman's sticking around for the next story arc because, well, she's on the cover for the next story arc. So it doesn't look like Catwoman's going to Belle Reve anytime soon. And I don't know how I feel about the next story arc once again becoming, another Bane story where Bane is now attacking Gotham. Batman just attacked Bane to get Psycho Pirate, and already he's, I don't know. We'll see where it goes. I'm going to trust Tom King, and we'll see if he delivers. I just felt that I Am Suicide was a segue into this story arc. It turns out that was a story arc. This is a segue into the next story arc. So, we'll see.
Cyborg issue number 8. So apparently we have Cyborg having a new friend that's going to be joining around, teaming up with him actually.
Nice.
It starts off where he saves this guy, what's his name? E.V. Clark. I guess I'll call him Exy or whatever. It's EXXY. Who gets police brutality from the cops for obvious reasons. I'm not going to say why. But, so he goes to this warehouse, and Cyborg's like saying, I've seen your scan and everything, so I need you to do me a favor. I need you to break into Star Labs, because Valiant is actually held captive there. So he uses him to try... I like how superheroes use people. My God.
Wait, the superheroes you read about.
Well, basically for this one, it's for other reasons, and you could definitely check out the book and read for yourselves to check it out. So they go into like these air vents and stuff, because Cyborg helps him a little bit as well, so it's not like really using him, it's just helping him. And they show the other Cyborg that's in sleep mode, and it's to just wake him up because of, I think it was like in his... he got in the way of him spiritually that got his body to actually wake up.
Okay.
Because I know it's very little bit like okay, but I sort of understood the story. So as the security comes in and also trying to that he already knows the truth about his father being a faker and whatnot, and tries to help out Valiant. The guy who he's facing against is known to be Otak. Or Otak, or something like that.
Okay.
So, I mean, I don't know if that character may sound familiar to you because you read it pre-New 52 or New 52, whenever you last read Cyborg, but yeah.
So in the comments below, let Mike know what Otak is.
If they know who Otak is.
If you know who Otak is.
Yeah. Yours is next.
Yeah, I tried to do me, you all the way until the last two.
I could tell you did that.
Green Lanterns, issue number 14. Finally, the Phantom Ring does something good. We see Rami fighting Volthoom, and I guess that's like, it's a side-by-side. We get to see Frank, who ends up, finally connecting to Compassion. Then you get Rami versus Volthoom, and you kind of get pulled away from that fight, so you don't know who wins. And then he gains Compassion, and he pulls off he's like, I'm doing the wrong thing. I'm going to, I don't deserve this ring. He takes the ring off, and he's like, wait, what the hell am I doing? But then Simon jumps in, and Jessica gets the ring. She actually puts the ring on, and the ring says that her place in the spectrum actually is green. And she takes the Phantom ring off, and Frank is like, no, that belongs to me. I want to take it off. And she's like, I don't need it. And she just used, and I guess that gives her like a confidence boost. And now she can create even more constructs. And you see Simon eyeing it like he wants to put it on, but in the end he chooses not to. 2 Green Lantern Corps members show up to help Simon and Jessica. And it turns out they were able to deal with Frank on his own. And Rami shows up, and it turns out he claims that Volthoom is in this sphere, that he trapped him in the sphere. The Green Lanterns want to take him back to Mogo to have him answer to John Stewart. He says absolutely not. If anything, he can come to me. And we get the backstory, and it turns out that Rami, spoiler alert, because we're not doing this late anymore, spoiler alert, Rami lost in that fight, and Volthoom switched bodies with him. And it's actually Rami who's stuck in that crystal ball. And now Volthoom, under the guise of Rami, is going to lead Simon and Jessica. And basically he's going to lead them to his ultimate revenge against the Green Lanterns and the Guardians. Oh boy. Mm-hmm. That's going to be interesting. But in the end, Frank ends up being taken prisoner by the Justice League under the code name the Phantom Lantern. So that left Frank a little bit happy, at least. That's not mine.
Oh, sorry. Oh.
He's handing me his book. I'm like, I hope you read that. That's not my book.
Midnighter and Apollo, issue number 4. Sorry, I just lost a trance there. That's my book.
You were lost, all right.
Yeah. So anyway, there's still a mission where Midnighter Midnight actually is in hell trying to save Apollo from Nurin, where Apollo's being held and playing games with them. So Midnighter actually meets up with this person that has some type of bullet that he needs to defeat him, and he uses that bullet actually to defeat some mount-legged person. I can't remember what his name is, while Apollo is just trying to escape there. So I really like the artwork in this story. I don't want to show anything that's too much blood or anything. There's some blood. Well, basically, Midnighter used the bullet to defeat him, to meet with Neuron. Yeah, this is good artwork, actually. Right here. And it's just like a long talk scene, of just saying that he wants to, that his body is powerless, and everything else that he's trying to say of Apollo just like being a god, and it's just like a really long dialogue. And then Midnight meets up with other people, so he just tries every which way to get to Neuron, to get to Apollo in that way. So yeah, there's just lots of funky stuff that's been actually going on here. And he said that there's already been a fight and a deal for Apollo's soul, so I accept if you want to fight me. So basically, if he wins, Midnighter, he gets Apollo back, and if Nurin wins, he keeps the soul of Apollo. and would never go. So Midnighter's ready to go, just fight and yeah. True relationships matter in this comic book, that's for sure. And they should, you know. I mean, just saying.
Bloodhaven, Nightwing issue number 12. I had to make sure about the number. So Nightwing is now on the case of trying to figure out, you know, who is actually doing all the murders and why ex-villains are being, ex-supervillains are being tagged with it. And you see this you see this police officer who's like, well, you know what? He was a lawyer. He was involved with this person, so I guess point A and B leads us to C. And I love how he basically just says, you know what, that's lazy detective work, and that's why you'll find out the hard way that I'm right and that you're wrong. So it looks like Nightwing is kind of sick of the way Bloodhaven is being run. He actually goes to, I forgot what his name was. I forgot what the kid's name was, but he was one of the leaders of the Runaways, was it? Not the Runaways, no. Oh, that's bad. No, that's a different team. But anyway, you got Dick working still there, and you get the woman who is part of the advertising who wants actually Dick to get Bruce to put some money down for Bullhaven. Or Bloodhaven. I keep calling it Bullhaven. Bloodhaven. And she's already says we have our own superhero. It doesn't matter whether he wants to or not. He's an illegal vigilante. And he has no rights like a normal citizen. But Nightwing has a group get together with everybody, and he wants to know what this conspiracy is. He gets the rundown on it that it all started with Gorilla Grimm a little bit, and that the gangs are trying to kill each other out, and one person wants to be superior overall. They go to one of the leaders. They get attacked, of course, by the woman that we saw in the last issue, whose name leaves me at the moment, Whale Woman. And it just becomes a humongous fight between them and Nightwing. Nightwing, of course, wins. We find out a little bit more information, and we find out that this is the person that's looking to kill almost everybody. I wanted to remember what they were called. The other group. I feel bad if I don't have their name, but I might. I wanted to get the name, but I guess I won't. Because it doesn't look like it. Oh well, I'll get it in the next issue, but basically because Nightwing's fighting with them, they consider him one of them now. And especially because he's trying to prove that the other two, the Gorilla Grimm and Defacer, were arrested wrongfully, and he wants to get them out of jail. You know, and he's fought for them already. That he's basically like one of them now.
Alright, now I did review this for Comic Frontline, and this is Green Arrow, issue number 14, Emerald Outlaw, part 2, which I believe is the conclusion. If I'm right, because I did see something, let me just make sure, because I think it said conclusion on the... Oh no, I'm sorry, part 3, actually, of Emerald Outlaw. I did say in the review it was part 3, but anyway. So the Seattle policemen are going into the stadium where they think that, what's his name now? I can't remember. Like who he killed. What was his name?
The football player, Mike.
Yeah, the football player. Cy Sampson. So all the football players are saying that, you know, he's the killer, and that we find out actually who this mysterious Archer is. And this Archer works for the League of Assassins, and we know Ra's al Ghul does the League of Assassins. And as he meets him on the rooftop, basically the person who was behind this is Malcolm Merlyn. If that rings a bell for you. Well, he's the original Dark Archer. And he just wanted to frame Green Arrow and everything, and with all that's been going on there, he was about to kill a police officer. Green Arrow sacrifices and gets in the way while Malcolm just goes away, and now I guess they're gonna just move on to something even better. So now, not only did Eddie Fisher escape, Now he escaped also. That's like 2 people that escaped, and I don't know if this is trying to say if they're going to come together in the end, because usually when people escape, they come together. I'm just saying, that would actually be pretty cool if something like that happened, but it's a good issue. It's a great issue, actually, I say, nonetheless, and yeah, so these are the last 2 books
Last
for
2
you.
books of mine, Justice League versus Suicide Squad, issue number 3. Like I was saying before, the Justice League is a prisoner of Amanda Waller. Batman, however, is taken to the infirmary, where he's able to escape. You have Flag and Katana up on the moon looking for the black box, because that's where she kept the prisoners that Max Lord freed. And Batman, of course, escapes. He goes to Amanda Waller, wants to know why. And we got Suicide Squad, who finds out that the Justice League are prisoners. You get a little banter back and forth with them. And then this is what I meant. Superman actually tells Killer Frost, I could tell that you hesitated. Why did you hesitate? You're not as bad as, you're not a bad person. All of you can be saved if you wanted to. And you get a little bit of her backstory where she actually saw not Superman New 52, but this Superman, and it gave her hope, but then something happened, obviously, that turned her into Killer Frost, and she ended up killing people. And he's like, there's still hope for you guys. You don't have to be like this. And that's when Deadshot basically says, this is where we belong, yada, yada. But out of the whole group, Killer Frost is brand new to Suicide Squad. So obviously, she's not going to fit the profile. And in some way, obviously, she breaks off and ends up joining the Justice League of America. So Killer Frost will actually be towards the good side. Then we get to this other island where you got Max Lord's team, and he's trying to find out where the person is. We don't know who. They refer to him as him. They refer to him as a weapon. And he doesn't get the info he wants, but I guess he does kind of towards the very end, because he knows where to go now, and he knows that they have to go to Belle Reve, and that's where the Justice League and the Suicide Squad is. Amanda Waller frees the Justice League. Batman and her give the 411 on the 5 members of Max Lord's team. We find out about the, the Emerald Empress, who claims she's from the future, which she is. Rustum, Dr. Polaris. And then you got, Johnny Sorrow. And then finally you get Lobo. And then we get to Max Lord. And that's where, now, for those of you that don't remember, Max Lord, in this book right here, killed Blue Beetle. And then, at some point, took control of Superman. And only through Wonder Woman making the very bold move of snapping Max Lord's neck, that was the only way to free Superman, was to actually kill Max Lord. And it was a very huge issue in the Superman books, and it was a very huge move that Wonder Woman actually snapped a person's neck. And you can... I'm mentioning all this because anybody who is only New 52, only has the New 52 knowledge, well, that's why Superman gets really mad there. He's like, wait, pause it. And he sees Max Lord, and he's like, that's Max Lord. And he gets super mad, and he's got like the heat vision going on. He's like, all of them, Max Lord is the one we need to worry about the most. And I love how Boomerang's like, that guy, really? And he's like, trust me. Because he remembers Wonder Woman literally broke the hero code and snapped Max Lord's neck in order to save Superman from his influence. And it turns out Max Lord is aiming to kill her and also to get what is buried deep below Belle Reve. And the only reason why she knows that this team will be able to do it is because they were her first Suicide Squad. And I believe that does connect back to the original Suicide Squad, if I'm not mistaken. I do believe these 4 or 5 were a Suicide Squad at one time in the pre-New 52 universe. I just don't know when, and I cannot completely 100% confirm that. But I love the reaction with Superman, because in the world he's from, Max Lord is dead. So, speaking of... Superman issue number 14. I wanted to do a review of this. My voice was just not there. Multiplicity. Book opens up where Russian Superman meets regular Superman, and we get a bit of a really quick setup where he's actually being chased by a bunch of prophecy and gatherers, as he calls them. And they actually chase after him. Him and Superman end up fighting them. Awesome artwork. I love the artwork, and I love the way they fight. So in the end, he ends up saving Soviet Super or Red Sun. I'll call him Red Sun Superman. And then we get introduced. For those of you that didn't read Multiversity, what's that?
I think so.
Multi something. We get introduced to the Justice League that protects all of the multiverse, led by, of course, President Superman. So if you've read Multiplicity, you'll know exactly about this, because I think that's how it left off. And I love how Superman's like, yeah, I'm familiar with the multiverse, because he just happened to be involved in the whole, convergence event. And they get a little bit more of a backstory on the prophecies and gatherers, that whenever they take somebody, they take them out of the multiverse, like they go missing, completely and utterly missing. And their next target is Kenan Kong. And they actually do, that's, for those of you that don't read All New Superman, that's All New Superman, to be clear. They end up getting Kenan Kong and taking him away, but Superman ends up grabbing one of the gatherers prisoner. So I guess they'll be able to question the gatherer when he comes to. And we find out where they're taking all of these Supermen that they're, trying to cleanse. We find Kenan Kong, who freshly shows up. You got a bunch of other Supermen, and then you get to see Captain Carrot. And it turns
Seriously?
out, yeah, but he ends up getting, I'm not going to spoil the ending, but the next issue is called Into the Multiverse. So it looks like Superman is going to be jumping in with the other Supermen in order to save the Supermen from all the other different universes and worlds and whatnot. An interesting introduction. I want Captain Carrot fixed. Hopefully they will.
And a Bizarro in there.
Oh yeah, Bizarro is part of the multiverse, because in one multiverse there is Bizarro World.
I thought he was just a bad guy.
Oh no. So I like this. This looks interesting. It definitely there. I'm surprised that Superman is not considered an anomaly. That New Superman is considered the anomaly that needs to be fixed. I don't know, but it looks really interesting and really promising. And after what's going on in action right now with these unknown villains, it's nice to have a nice new story. And we're away from Frankenstein. Frankenstein was the story that was in Superman. It's good to be away from that and into something more interesting again. And with that, that's it for this review, guys. So hopefully you enjoyed. We're done. We're on time. Yes.
And also, please, just as a reminder, Frontline Live tonight.
Yes. Is not going to be happening. That's right.
Yeah,
because of.
Say that. Okay. Well, because there's going to be a video that's going to be uploaded, which is our Frontline awards. It's called. Yeah, so you could see all of us from Comic Frontline saying of the awards, the nominees, and somewhat and so forth. So please go there tomorrow to check out that video.
Tonight. Because it's going up Tuesday
tonight.
Morning.
That'll be uploaded, and check out the award ceremony and how it went.
And then don't forget also Media Madness and Dark Avenger Live. Both, I believe, are this week, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, your Avenger
I know Dark Avenger 100% is. I'm not sure about Media Madness. You'll know by Wednesday, Thursday. If you don't see a Media Madness, obviously it was changed. But Dark Avenger Live will be this Friday.
The 13th.
And hopefully by Friday, I'll have my voice 100% back, and I won't have to worry about losing it.
Give it time. It's just the end of the week.
I know. I'm saying hopefully by Friday.
Get your voice back by then. A couple of haters.
Where did that even come from?
I watched Raw tonight. Don't
yeah,
mind
he did.
Me.
He watched Raw tonight.
Yeah, that's me.
So thank you guys so much for being here with us. We are Comic Frontline, like we said. We are your #1 source for comic-related news, reviews, and a whole bunch more. If you're new to the channel, hopefully you'll smash that subscribe button. This way we're in your subscription box, and you do not miss out on a single video. We try to have videos coming up and out each and every day, so you have something new to check out when you log into YouTube. Also, if you want more Frontline goodness, go over to comicfrontline.com. There are 2 other sites connected to Comic Frontline. There is the gaming side of Comic Frontline, Frontline Gaming Zone, and now the freshly announced card side, or the TCGO, or TCG, I always want to add that, TCG side of Comic Frontline, What the Card. On there, we open Pokemon all week long, Yu-Gi-Oh! On Saturday, and a random trading card game series on Sunday, or we take Sunday off, or we do something random on Sunday. So there's always new content on What the Card as well.
Yep.
I think that's it. Feel free to comment below your thoughts on any of the books we talked about here. Pete, I'm looking forward to finally having that conversation with you. I look forward to finally having that back and forth with you on your top for this week. If you guys would like to list your favorite books of the week, you're welcome to. Books you'd like to recommend, books that you like, that you would like to put in the comments. Agree with us, disagree with us, what have you. It's a new year. Hopefully we'll hear from more of you guys out there.
Yep.
Till next time, everybody, take care, keep reading, keep collecting, and I'll see you guys really soon. Or we'll see you guys really soon in the next video.
Hey, everybody.